Sergeant Brown was due for a few days' leave and went to Winterberg, where the Army Leave Centre stands high in the lovely hills. Janie, as a civilian, had to stay at a nearby hotel, but she was able to share with him all the Leave Centre had to offer.
What a week.
A lovely spot.
Remember the Leave Centre in Kenya, Pete?
Oh, at Mombasa, yes.
Does the Army have them everywhere?
Most places. Better than South End, eh?
Oh, you people are spoiled. Just because you get houses in a Leave Centre, you think you're doing okay.
Well, we are.
Especially since the pay and pensions went up.
We've been pretty lucky with the schools, too. Here and in Kenya, they're excellent. Good as in England, actually.
Well, they've certainly improved since the war. And so has the housing.
All in all, we're doing better than Civvy Street.
Just one big happy family.
You wait till next week when the big exercise starts. That's when you'll hear all the beefing.
The combined exercise is the climax to the year's training. For now, all arms have to cooperate for the first time. In realistically simulated battle conditions and battle sounds, tanks, guns and infantry have to combine with split-second timing. This is the moment when the training by good NCOs proves its worth. Instinctive discipline saves lives. Just as thoroughly maintained wireless equipment ensures that help can be sent when needed. NCOs trained men to maintain this set. They trained these men in the art of fieldcraft. They trained the men who maintain the tank's guns. They trained the mortar crews to lay smoke accurately and drop shells on enemy positions. Now they're out there, part of a team they helped to create, having full trust in men they trained, knowing their platoon will never let down company or regiment. This is the moment of pride Sergeant Brown can't explain to Janie. The moment of knowing that his year of effort has achieved something worthwhile. He can tell her of quarters and schools and pay and pensions and leaves and a career till he's 55, but this one thing he can never explain. The pattern had worked again. Now the armour went forward, taking over from the infantry like a footballer picking up a well-placed pass. The inter-unit games had begun. Infantry regiments would play each other, and engineers and ordnance and every other branch of the Army, until all but two teams were eliminated. The Army Cup Final. That was everyone's goal. Our game against the gunners was tradition, and I'm afraid the result was fast becoming a tradition too. But it's always fun meeting on the field those you've worked with in exercises or met in distant lands. It was just before Christmas, and many of our friends had come home for it. Sergeant Evans had rejoined the regiment after what he referred to as his solitary confinement in Civvy Street. And Janie was also visiting us again at the invitation of my wife. The party in the mess that night was a gay one, with the gunners as our guests.
I'm telling you, you can muck about and change things too much. Well, now look at the group system. You just build up a recruit's pride in his regiment and somebody sends him off to another unit. Now they're trying to mess around with support cover. It's always worked well. Why change it?
Yeah, new conditions. You've got to meet them with new ideas.
Speaking as a civilian, I think some of you boys ought to go out into Civvy Street for a few months. Then you'd know just how well off you are.
Yeah, glad to be back, eh?
What, we pay out by 25% and pensions up by 50%. Look, I'm not crazy.
Who are you kidding? We know why you're back. Your wife told us.
Oh, never believe a woman, boy. They're worse than recruiting sergeants.
Jack just doesn't seem the same person.
Oh, he's much happier now he's back with all this. And you? Oh, yes. It's not just the house and the security. It's being part of the battalion again, having real friends around you.
What I've noticed here is that everyone seems, well, to live for their job.
Yes. You see, Janie, a job can be just a way of earning money, or something you're proud of, but it's worth doing. That's the difference in Jack. He feels he's someone again with responsibility, not just a cog. Well, any man with pride would feel the same. And he knows he can get a responsible job when he leaves the army. Like our QMS Cross. He's going into the customs next year.
I haven't got a leg to stand on, have I?
Well, here's to your ugly mugs, and may they see many a change in the army.
More pay.
Bigger pensions.
More houses.
Fewer postings.
Leave all the year round. Here's to us.
I'd like to drink to that, too.
He'll stay in, you know. He's a good one, he is. And her. That'll be good for the mess. We could do with some younger blood. They don't change much, you know. Different names, different faces. The spirit's the same. They seem younger than we were. I suppose it's because we got our stripes in the war. Yeah? Soon there'll be room for another young one. For my old friend Cross is retiring after 22 years' service. He has just passed an examination for the Customs and Excise Department. And because of his service record, he'll go in on a really good salary. I'll be staying on in the Army, as I've been granted a quartermaster's commission in the regiment. In about 6 months' time, one of these men will come up into my place, and another young sergeant will enter the mess. And so it will go on, as it always has in the British Army. In every regiment and corps, the flow will continue, and each man in his brief stay will add something to the tradition of his sergeant's mess, and the Army will be the better, because such men as these have served it.